So I am Olena Deering, and I am a senior software engineer at Celonis. So this is me. I and today I would like to give a talk to you about my non-traditional career path from biosciences to software engineering. Um, I have 10 years of working experience as a software engineer, and I would like to share with you my story and what I've learned along the way of being a software engineer. So, my talk today will consist of three main parts. First, I'll tell you about my transition from biosciences to software engineering, about finding my very first job in software engineering, and how I went about switching my jobs along the way. Then I will talk some about my big event in my life of becoming a mom, and at the same time continuing with my software engineering career. And then I will finish my talk by telling you a little bit about how, after 10 years of working in software engineering, I still find happiness in my work, and how do I do that, and what do I value in my work. Okay, so a little bit about me. So overall, I have 10 years of experience as a software engineer. Right now, I work as a senior software engineer at Celonis. Quite happy to be here. I Before that, I worked at Apple, Landesk. It's a Utah-based company, and then at Groupon, another Silicon Valley company. In my education, I have a PhD in molecular biophysics for my academic career. From my academic career, and in order to transition to software engineering, I did a boot camp in San Francisco called App Academy. Okay, let's start with my biosciences career first. For biosciences, I told you I have a PhD in molecular biophysics, and for my PhD, I was doing research on understanding the origins of cancer, of how the regular cell transitions to be a cancerous cell. For that, I was doing biochemistry experiments, and then extracting quantitative information from those experiments and trying to create a computational model of how a normal cell transitions to become a cancerous cell. I've done some MATLAB programming during that time, and used other computational tools. And that's kind of like that line I used as a segue to find my first job in software engineering. So, and for a while I was doing my academic degree, I felt that I will continue on an academic career path where I would do my PhD for 5 to 6 years. Then the second stage would be work as a postdoctoral researcher, build up your portfolio of research subjects, and then become a professor, tenured professor at the university, where you have your research lab, where you can teach students and be a professor for life. It did not happen to me this way. On stage two of my career in academia, I realized that, or I felt that I was not as successful as I should have been. And I switched and decided to find a job in pharmaceutical industry. At that time, my husband and we moved to California, and I started applying for pharmaceutical jobs. I did that for a couple of months, applying online, not hearing back. I did not get any a phone call like with a recruiter. All I got is emails. Thank you for your application. Better luck next time. That was um, quite a quite an experience for me. And at that time, I heard about boot camps for software engineering, and I decided to join one. As a disclaimer, it was not the first introduction to software engineering for me. My husband is a software engineer, so by talking to him, I knew what type of work he is doing. And I actually said, hey, this is easy what you do. I can do what you do. So why don't I do that? So I started the boot camp. The bootcamp was a 3-month course where I learned full stack software engineering using Ruby on Rails and front end JavaScript frameworks. Afterwards, it was not easy to find my very first job in tech. I spent 2 to 3 months applying for multiple jobs, like having rejections, having interviews. And eventually, after 2 to 3 months, in 1 week, I received 2 job offers. One of them was from Groupon, and I decided to take it. I stayed with Groupon for 2 years. Then my husband and I, we felt that we would like to leave Bay Area and try a different tech hub. So we moved to Salt Lake City, Utah, and there I worked at a company called Lendesk for a year. But my heart kind of called me back to Silicon Valley, or I say that Silicon Valley called me back. I started applying for positions. I wanted to work in one of the big tech companies. I had on-site interviews at LinkedIn, Yahoo, Google, Apple, and Apple was the first one to offer me a job as a senior front-end engineer for iCloud.com. And I took this opportunity. I was excited to do it. At the same time, I felt that they might have made a mistake. But that's okay. It's on them. So I had this imposter syndrome that me with a without a traditional career in computer science, without the background in computer science, that they hired me to work on iCloud.com. So I stayed with Apple for 5.5 years. It was very intense, very exciting years. And eventually, I decided to leave. Right now, close to a year now, I am a senior software engineer at Celonis. Very happy to be here. And I'll talk to you a little bit in the last part of my talk about how do I find happiness in my work these days, and what do I value in the team and in the company. So I told you about this career past 10 years, 4 different companies, switching jobs, and I would like to share some learnings and tips and tricks that I found along the way of how to change jobs and find your very first job in tech. So treat the job search as a training for a 5K run. You do a lot of training and then it culminates in you being able to run a 5K. Same goes with searching for a job, applying for job positions. Treat it as quantity will turn into quality. But what do I mean by that? That you should expect to apply to at least 100 different positions. And let's say out of those 100, you will get 80, let's say, phone screens with a recruiter. Out of those 80, you would get 50 technical phone screens. Out of those 50 technical phone screens, maybe you will get 10, 20 on-sites, on-site interviews, and out of those, you would get 1 or 2 or maybe more job offers. So treat it as a game and some games that you just need to put in the work, apply to a lot of different positions, and it will come. Also, treat it as a long-time game. It does not happen in a week. It does not happen in 2 weeks. It might not happen for a month or two. But how do you maintain the speed of how do you maintain keeping on applying for jobs? So my trick was to apply for 5 jobs every day, every working day, 5 days a week. And I maintained a spreadsheet of jobs that I applied for. Another advice that I have is that you will start getting technical phone screens, you will start getting on-site interviews, you might get to a stage of negotiating an offer. Through all of this, even through negotiating an offer, keep on applying for jobs. Keep your pipeline of jobs there, because it will help you with your negotiating position if you have a job offer, but it might be not good enough or something is off about it, so that you have like a fallback. You still have a lot of interviews in the pipeline that you can continue with. So that's my advice to you for finding your very first job in tech, but also for switching jobs. It also does not happen very fast, and you have to put in the work, and the same tips and tricks apply. So now on to the second part of my talk of becoming a mom. 5.5 years ago, I found out that I'm expecting. Now I am a happy mom of twins. I have a boy and a girl. They're getting ready to go to school this fall. And at first time when I found out that I'm expecting, I was like, oh my goodness, how would it affect my career? Will I be able to be a productive member of the team? Will I be able to work after having a family, starting a family? I had a lot of stigmas in my head about like I wouldn't be able to program after I give birth or things like that. I had some advices from people telling me, hey, Olena, you know, like if you decide to quit today, it's okay. Like nobody will be upset with you and you can come back later. So that was a bad advice. My advice to you is please try and stay in your technical career when you start a family, decide to start a family. It's very important to maintain your technical expertise. And yes, those years might be challenging and difficult, like of starting your family, the first years of starting your family. You might not experience a career growth in terms of like being promoted and along the ladder. But what you will get is a stable line of being a great software engineer, a team player. You will see project being conceived, built, and delivered. This will give you some sort of wisdom, if you will, and ammunition for your arsenal when you start growing as an engineer, as a technical leader. You will have this wisdom and experience to share with others about, well, I've seen how projects like this go, and I've seen the positives and negatives, and let me provide my experience and insight on how this can be done better. So my advice today to you, if you're looking to start a family, please stay with your job, like with your technical career, because it will help you. Yes, it will be difficult, but it will help you to maintain your to build the breadth of your experience, to become a more well-grounded software engineer. Well, in my case, that's how it went. Another part about staying in your work and not quitting your technical career after starting a family is that at some point your kids will grow up. My kids are 5.5 years old, and now they're sometimes telling me, Mama, can you please go away and give me some privacy? So they need you less and less. They'll be going to school, and but what they would need from you, they will need less like hands-on experience from you, but what they would need from you is having a role model, a strong woman in their life, a woman who has a career, who has an important job, who cares about her work and talks about her works at home, and being a role model to your kids. So that's what they would need. So my advice to you, please stay in your technical career. And with my kids, like after I had my kids, I had this realization of how to find happiness in my work, and overall how to tell them like, what do I do at work, and also like when I evaluate the new team or a new company that I'm about to join, I not only look at their, let's say, technical stacks, like what type of technologies I will be working with and exposed to, but I also look at the social values for the company. That is what important to me. In case of Celonis, one of the values that I found is that it's called Earth is our future. What does it mean? So the software that Celonis builds, it's a process mining software. It helps big companies, let's say if they're producing a bottle of Coca-Cola or they're producing a Tesla car, there is some process involved in producing this product. So Celonis' software can be applied to any process. It can be a governmental process, it can be insurance process, or a production of material goods. And by looking at the process with Celonis' software, companies can make it better, faster, more efficient, sustainable. And that was speaking to me, this value of that Earth is our future. And by working on the product that I worked on, I contribute in some way to the sustainability and solving the problem of overuse of the resources of our planet. So that spoke to me a lot. And yeah, so my advice to you is not everybody has the same values, but when you look at your next opportunity, at the next team, next company that you're looking to join, please think about 6 months from joining this company. What will make you happy in your day when you log in to your work computer and start your working day? What will make you come to work every day? Think about the happiness or long-term happiness that you can get from this job. And that's kind of, it can be different for different people. It can be fitness. In my case, it's environmental sustainability. It can be something else for others, some sort of social causes or something else. But do think about that with your work, you are contributing to a society, and how to keep yourself happy in your position. And I would like to mention to you that Celonis has a booth at the conference. Please come and visit us there if you would like to work with me or with the teams that I work with, or with the company overall. It's a very large company. A lot of engineers work here and technical people. We are a technology company. So please come and join us to learn about careers at Celonis. Also, my colleague Katie will share a link to my LinkedIn profile. If you have any questions afterwards, please reach out and I will try to answer. Thank you, everybody. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and have a great rest of your conference. Thanks.
Thanks so much, Olena. Thank you for sharing your journey, your story, your lessons learned. I really loved what you said about staying in your career and being a role model who has a career and who has a job, and being an inspiration for your children. I think especially if you have daughters, I think it's important to be a strong role model for them. We have a couple of questions.
Okay.
So before we jump into that, we'll take a minute or two. I want to say that, as you nicely put, to keep your options open, I think, to talk to many companies as possible. So make sure to use this opportunity to talk to Celonis team. And I really liked how you organized with your colleague, was coordinating, putting the LinkedIn in the chat. Really,
Yes.
really like
Thank
this.
you. Yes, please reach
Wonderful.
out and I will answer. Yes.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll take one question. You mentioned your husband is also in software engineering. What is it like to work at the same domain? From Nina Johns.
To be honest, it's quite rewarding. We can make technical jokes together. Sometimes when we're cooking together or something, taking care of kids, he's like, I would say, hey, my CPU is too busy to process your questions right now. Please don't talk to me right now. Let me concentrate on the thing. So it's rewarding. We actually grow against each other. We can discuss the issues that arrive in our careers and role and work. We can discuss technical issues and other organizational issues, if you will, and it's quite interesting. I think it brought us closer.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Love that. I see more questions. You can ask them to Olena directly. And if you have more questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Also, drop by Celonis booth, and they will also have an info session at 11:30 Eastern time. So make sure to join.
Yes,
More
I'll be
colleagues of
there.
Olena's will join. She will be also there. So a great opportunity to connect. Thank you so much, Olena. We're looking forward to having you at our future events. And thanks so much for being with us today.
Thank you.
Bye.